Good evening. A little midweek analysis. Today being Thursday. I really wanted to do this analysis because there are new information that the market has given us today. Um, Beside the 3M being all-time high, 3M is an indicator, and it actually broke all-time high again, and it's kind of a little bit worrisome. The VIX EQ is also at all-time high. VIX has kind of taken a break, but at the same time, there is a bunch of signs that we can see in the market where they're pretty significant. The first one being on the SP 500 futures, ES. So there's a strategy out there where on the daily time frame you have a doji candle. This is a perfect doji candle. And then you go on the 4 hour time frame and you look for a head and shoulder or an inverse head and shoulders. So as far as I'm concerned, if today we are going down here at 75.25, create an inverse head and shoulders, we are going to rally to the top. And that would also not break the doji, the bottom of the doji, which is at 75.07. So if we break the lows of the doji, we go down. If we break the highs of the doji, we go up. I say we probably go up because there are equal highs here that I mentioned in the video this week, early this week. This is a target. The fact that we are creating series of lower highs and higher lows, the next step is likely a lower low or a higher high. To me, it looks like a higher high just because I trust equal highs. They always find a way to get swept every single time. I mean, we formed a lower low here, we still went for those equal highs. So now that we have more data, to me, this looks like we would, in the coming week or 2 weeks, somewhere thereabout, go and fetch those equal highs. We are still above gamma, but I am looking for inverse head and shoulders, which technically, if this comes down here and does not close below the previous 4 hour on Wednesday, the closing 4 hour, we have our inverse head and shoulders. But ultimately, if you expand your horizon a little bit, you have not so much of a clean inverse head and shoulder, but it is also considered a under over because we do have a change of character here. It just didn't really close above the change of character, above the previous swing high. We wicked above to sweep liquidity and kind of came back down. As far as I see it, but we do have a left shoulder, a head, and then a right shoulder. So technically, this could be considered as our inverse head and shoulders. I don't see a opposite. I mean, granted, you could consider this a head, a shoulder, and then a head, and then somewhere here would be a right shoulder. That's also in the making, but ultimately at this point in time, because of those equal highs and the 20 moving average being shooting up, to me that looks like an inverse head and shoulder under over, and we're going to go for those equal highs. That's my thesis. I'm basing this thesis off of a strategy that I've been using for the dawn of time for as long as I've been day trading. And so I'm not gonna change my bias because some other indicators are telling me that this is bearish. I don't care. I'm still gonna bet that we're bullish. we might get some type of pullback. But as long as we remain above the 20 trauma on the 4 hour, to me, we are bullish. Clearly, when that happens, it retests, it fails, we fall through. It retests, it fails, we fall through. So far, we've broken above. We have a nice sweep of liquidity here, and we have continued upward. Same thing here, nice sweep of liquidity, 200T liquidity tap, and a cross, as well as a significant cross, because now 20T cross 50 and 200. Until we're under it, I'm not going to be bearish. I'm going to be bullish. So that's my target. That being said, we have the upper daily expected move at 75.73 for tomorrow. If we do close above the doji on the daily time frame, some previous day candle, we're likely to continue higher. Now, I don't expect that on a short week because tomorrow's the last day, right? So, well, technically today. Today is the last day of the week. There is a potential where we could go up, tap it, and then come back and close within the range of that doji, and then next week kind of either open above or open below. If we do open below, I do believe the next time we go under gamma, we're going to see and feel an extreme amount of volatility. We cannot close this market below gamma. I trust that because the indicators that I talked about, the 3M is at all-time high, and the VIX EQ is also at all-time highs, which therefore would equal a very high amount of volatility coming into the market the next time we go under gamma. Uh, that's my thesis. I've seen it happen. I trust it, and that's my bias. So the other thing I do see is that this daily candle on Monday does not have a low. It does not have a low wick. So there's a very high possibility where we could probably go and fill that up somewhere, maybe during the week. So if we don't close next week, if we don't close above and we close under, that's our target, which is a pretty significant target technically. I mean, it's a beautiful trade if we are taking that, and we're going to be under gamma, and then that's probably going to lead into a lower low at some point. Um, that being said, also ES would have told us the sauce last week because it did fell through its left shoulder, and the bodies have been closing, or it closed the body below the left shoulders, which usually shows weakness. So this could just be a trap for everybody that came in and bought. This could be a trap, and then it leads to a lower low. Um, on the other side, same thing, right? I mean, this one did not close below. The bodies did close within the left shoulder range, so it's still an under over. As far as I'm concerned, this is also pretty bullish. I mean, it doesn't show me equal highs, but these are equal highs. To me, it looks like equal highs. There's a possibility that if this is a higher low, that it's going to lead into a higher high. So until again we close under 20T, which if we do, we're under gamma. Gamma will lead into more volatility. But as far as also another indicator that I use is the money flow index, we have been depleted of liquidity. Could we go all the way down here? Possibly. I mean, it could continue depleting, right? But money came in, a lot of orders came in and led to a pretty significant rally and also a market structure break, which we have not seen on. Um, I don't think we have. Yeah, not yet. So this high right here would be our market structure break. But ES is kind of lagging behind, so to speak. While NQ is pretty significant on. I mean, obviously it's mostly dragged by semiconductors and DRAM and company. So I think we're bullish. We might get some fear, some type of, downside, but as far as I'm concerned, if we don't create a higher high next week, we might actually see some crazy volatility in the coming, depending on where gamma is. But I do think, again, I repeat, I do think that the next time we hit under gamma, we are going to feel a very, very high amount of volatility. We're going to create a lower low. It's not going to just stop at a higher low. It will absolutely just tank. Could it be this month? Possibly. Could it be next month? Yes, 100%. I think it would likely be towards the end of the month or after OPex of July. For now, the volume also is telling me that this is a clean trend. The volume is closing below the 20 VDMA, which usually when there's a spike, it's kind of showing a reversal and a false break, so to speak. So to me, as far as the this week, the the volume is also in divergence with the price action. We're going up and the volume is depleting. So there could also be a trap. Could it just go and reach those highs and then start tanking right after? Yes, that's absolutely a possibility. There's it's something I've been watching. So there's a lot of correlated indicators, and there's a lot of other indicators and patterns that are showing bearish build up. I still think those equal highs are going to lead to a significant amount of bearish orders, which could be whenever OPEX happened this month. If that's so, then we know that we have a very, like a beautiful opportunity for a short swing that could lead into a lower low, which at that point, I mean, this would look like a, almost 3,000 point. So that's a great opportunity. I would watch that very closely. Beside that, I also have seen this right here. The upper daily for tomorrow is at the equal highs of today, or yesterday rather. And then, of course, we have Gamma that had trailed a little bit at 743. If we go under, I'm pretty sure if that is to happen, it's going to definitely go and fetch 742 into 741. And I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised because there's also equal lows here. So if we are to go up first and fetch this, we're likely coming back. And then next week, we're probably going to end up being bearish and go fetch these equal lows. If we go down first, because it is Thursday, people might be in the selling mood because for the past 3 days, we've been going up. We are going to 740. Those are my target for today. That would also be a clean higher low. I mean, it's not going to be a full market structure break because this is the first breakage structure, or this is the first breakage structure. This would be the second one. If we do stop at previous day low, then we go back up. There is also a bunch of liquidity compounding over here. So, I mean, these are clean signs that we could possibly be fetching lows. But as far as right now, the overnight is at 747. So we might actually be going for those equal highs first and then starting a downtrend or another downtrend for the ones that did not go short from the top. Beside that, I don't have anything else. I am looking at the mag 7. We are at point of control. If we are going, if we open, we go down, we just kind of stop over here at the point of control and then start going back up. We do have value high here. I don't see this going higher than 3,050, but that's something I'm watching. I like to watch this in the morning before like the pre-market and the bell so that I get an idea as to where the highs of that candle would be, and then I go, the body always retrace through the day, so that's where there's a great opportunity when the market depletes off of, or volume depletes off of the Mag 7. It gives you a good opportunity um, for trades and scalps and stuff. Beside that, I did increase my position on Bitcoin. I am in a long for Bitcoin. Now it's a little crazy to think that we might go all the way up here, but really there's equal highs here that were swept, but that's still an RL over here. There's liquidity compounding over here, and they are also liquidity blocks above at 76 and 80,000. So there's very high likelihood that we are going to push Bitcoin at least to 62,000 tomorrow. I might actually start shaving some of that orders because it is up 200% at this moment. I don't want to. I do believe we're going to break above 200T, honestly, at this point because we have created a low. But I'm, if next week is bearish, then this might actually fall back, and I'm not in the business of losing a 200% trade. So I'm looking at this very closely. If we do break above 20T tomorrow, the point of control is my target. We do have unemployment. We have enough news to give us a pretty significant trade and trend. So I would be very careful tomorrow. But the opportunity is basically 10 points on SPY. So money is going to rotate. I can tell you that right now. And again, I was right. Like the whole move happened early in the week, and then we sell off through the end of the week, the short week. That's always like this. It's happening like this at mostly every single time. It's not hard. Trading is very simple. You just have to be prepared and know your risk and understand the risk of trading. It's all in the risk. If you risk accordingly, you will be successful in trading. It's very simple. I teach that. That's the first thing that I do is teach that everything in the trade is about the risk. It's not about the money. It's not about the trade. It's about the risk. Control your risk, and you will be successful.